Maddie, what are we gonna make right now?
Sourdough.
Sourdough bread. All right. Hi, and welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew. In today's video, we're going to be taking you along with us as we make sourdough bread. And I want to show you because we do something a little unique in how we make sourdough bread because we don't have an oven in our tiny house. So we actually do something a little bit different to cook it. So stick around to the end so you can see how we do that. And if you're new to making sourdough bread, it's something that I've struggled with for years and I just started to get a hang of it, and I'm really proud of myself and just wanted to share how I do it and show how easy it could be to make sourdough bread, make some really good healthy bread for your family with no yucky preservatives or anything like that you would get at the store. So enjoy this video, and by the way, a lot of the filming was done on my phone by both my daughter and my 2-year-old son. So if you get a little shaky footage, that's because I just didn't have my tripod at the time and I wanted to record what I was doing. So just bear with us until the end. So I got the big bowl I'm gonna mix everything into.
Can I do it?
Get this down to 0. And I'm following my really nice recipe that I like. The lady that made this recipe is from a very popular YouTube channel called Farmhouse on Boone. I really like watching her. She does a lot of homemaking videos. And I really like this recipe and it's been my go-to. I liked it so much I even laminated it because I was getting it all wet and messed up. But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mix all these ingredients right now and get this started. All right, so first I'm gonna do the all-purpose flour and I'm gonna do 500 grams of this.
That's so much.
Yeah, let me know when I get the 500 grams.
100 grams.
500.
500 grams.
Are we there yet? No?
100 grams.
We're over 400. We're getting there. Almost there. Almost there. There we go. So now, next we're gonna do whole wheat flour. We're gonna add 200 grams of this. Let me know when I get to 200, okay?
200.
Not yet. We're not even close.
Oh, I said 200.
Did you? We're at 100.
Right here.
We're getting there.
A whole wheat flour.
Oop, I did a little bit too much. That's okay. All right, last here we're gonna add 250 grams of bread flour, which is really hard to do. I should probably get a tripod.
Making blue flour. So bread. I'm gonna help him.
You're gonna help him.
And I'm gonna help him with the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold my hand.
Tell them what I'm doing.
Making some water and...
Now I'm gonna add 650 grams of water.
Why?
Why? Because the directions say you need to rehydrate the wheat, the flour. So this helps. So we're gonna put in 650 grams of water and let it sit for 30 minutes before we add in our sourdough starter. Almost. What did we put in here so far?
Water and water.
Water and water? And flour.
And flour and water.
What kind of flour did we put in?
Whole wheat flour.
And all-purpose flour?
Yeah.
And bread flour.
My holder.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna add our bubbly sourdough starter to our hydrated flour here. We need 200 grams of flour according to this recipe, but I have actually had better result adding a little bit more. So I'm gonna do 220 grams of the starter. I did it by accident. I did this accidentally, adding a little bit extra starter one time, and I found that during the stretch and folds, it was actually less sticky and it was easier to work with. So that extra hydration that comes from this sourdough starter, I think helps. And it's going to be different, I think, depending on where you live and how humid your house might be, because that all plays a part in how sticky or not sticky your dough is as you're making it. So we're at 100. Trying to get to 220. Alright. That was a little too much. Okay. Well, it's alright.
Maybe it will be more or less sticky.
Yeah. Alright. So now I'm actually going to add some salt. And that's another thing in this recipe that I usually don't do exactly as they do. They say 20 grams of salt. I usually don't do that much. I do maybe like 10 to 15 grams. I don't know. I just feel weird about adding so much salt to the bread. Alright, I'm going to just do 15 grams. Alright, good. So now I have everything mixed together, and now we're just gonna mix it all together into this shaggy little mess. You could do it with your fingers, but I prefer to use a spatula of some kind because this can get really messy. Cool. I'm trying to incorporate all the wet stuff and the dry stuff to make it into some kind of, it's not going to be a ball yet, but I want them all stuck together in one big piece. A shaggy ball at the end. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of dry dough on the bottom, and I try to scoop around and add it and mix it into the middle so it all sticks together. I like this recipe because you could mess around and do just use all-purpose flour, but I have tried just using all-purpose flour when I didn't have any more bread flour or whole wheat flour. But I think it's just a better overall bread taste and texture when you add the 3 different kinds of flour. So that's what I'm gonna do. As long as I have all the ingredients on hand, I'm gonna keep doing that. I think it's a good mixture of different flours. So, see, it's getting a lot drier. It was wet, and it's not going to be perfect. And I'm almost done what I'm trying to do right now. All right, so I'm going to scoop all this stuff off the spoon, get it off my fingers if I can. And then I'm going to cover this. So we've got it all together. We're going to cover it for 30 minutes. I'm going to use this little beeswax cover. And in 30 minutes, we'll come back and do our first stretch and folds. All right, so what I do, this is from extra leftover sourdough starter. Can you lift it up a little bit so you can see? Yeah, this is what's left. And this is, I'm going to put back into my jar to go back in the fridge. This is my mother starter, and this is how I store it. You could look down, Betty, point it down. Yeah, as I pour it in. So this is just going to go in the fridge for the next time that I use it. And it's active right now, so this is when you want to put it back in the fridge, when it's in that active bubbly state. And it should come back to life pretty quickly. And easily the next time you want to use it.
Goopy.
It looks what?
I like goopy.
Goopy?
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got to do a bunch of sets of stretch and folds. This is to activate the gluten, from what I understand, in the bread, so it's an important step. So these first 3 stretch and folds are going to be 15 minutes apart. So I just stretch it like this and fold it over. the first stretch and folds, it feels kind of loose, but the more you do it, it gets a little bit more, I guess you'll see in the future stretch and folds we do. It gets a little bit more tight, I guess. It doesn't stretch so easy. This is helping build the structure of the bread, I guess. And it's an important step. So I just flip the bowl around a couple times, stretch it up, let it fold down, and fold it over. Not sure if that's the right way to do it, but I've just watched other videos of people doing it, and that's just how I've done it. So that was my first stretch and fold. I'm going to cover it back up. In 15 minutes, we'll do it again. All right, this is on stretch and fold number 2. It's actually been longer than 15 minutes like it was supposed to be. I'm not perfect with this, and you're probably not going to be either, because if you have kids or other things going on in the house, it's just hard to do it exactly as the recipe says, but I try to be as close as I can. And this time it's a little bit more, it's not falling apart as easily as it did the first stretch and fold, as you can see. It's starting to come together a little bit more, and that's good. So I usually do about 3 or 4 times. I move the bowl around each time to get it a different way. I'm going to leave it there and do another stretch and fold in 15 minutes. This is the last stretch and fold of the 15-minute apart ones. And after this stretch and fold, we're going to do 3 more stretch and folds 30 minutes apart. Oh yeah, it's really stretching now, you can see.
I can smell it.
Yep.
It smells like wheat.
Smells like
Because you have wheat in it. Oh, that looks so stretchy. One more stretch and fold.
I haven't been perfect with my stretch and folds in the past, and you still get good bread at the end, but I think it's better when you follow these instructions the way it writes. Alright, so in 30 minutes we'll be back. Now you can see it's definitely grown in size since our last stretch and fold, and that's going to continue throughout the day. So this is going to be our first one of the 30-minute interval stretch and folds, and we'll do 2 more after this, 30 minutes apart. And then after those last stretch and folds, we'll just let it bulk ferment, I believe it's called. Just let it sit in this bowl, and it will at least double in size. That's what you want, and you'll know when it's ready to bake. Come on, buddy. It's also nap time for Matthew.
This is our last stretch and fold.
No, I gotta do 2 more, but not.
I know
for
what I'm saying.
time.
Our last stretch and fold for this time.
Stick into the bowl a little bit. There you go. See how much you can really stretch it.
Ah, you got me.
There you go. All right. We'll cover this up. Be back in a half hour. All right, we're on our very last stretch and fold right now. We're gonna get this done, and then once we finish this last stretch and fold, we're gonna let it sit and hopefully double in size, and it usually does that, especially if it's a warmer day and it's warm and a nice warm temperature in your house. It rises pretty well over the next few hours. So we'll just cover this.
But today is pretty windy, so it's probably...
Yeah, but it's about 65 degrees in our house. So if you have a colder house or a colder day, you might want to, and you're still trying to make bread, you could put it near like a heater or an area that's a little bit warm, maybe near your stove while you're cooking, something like that.
Maybe in a greenhouse if you have one.
Maybe. This is...
We already stretchy and sticky.
Yeah, all right.
I hope yeah.
You don't want to rip it when you're doing a stretch and fold. You want to make sure all the bread stays intact. You don't want it breaking apart or anything. So that's good enough for me.
Stretch and fold, stretch and
We're going to cover this for many hours. And hopefully this whole bowl will probably be filled up to here when this doubles in size. Sometimes it's even more than that. So, and then, so when this is ready to be baked, we have two options. We could either put it in the fridge and let it sit overnight, and then bake it in the morning, or this is something I've been doing lately so I can get it done in the same day. I'll bake it tonight once I see that the levels, that it's doubled in size at least, or close to doubled. I will bake it outside, and I do it on our grill, which is kind of cool because we don't have an oven in our tiny house. So that's how we have to make it, and it's actually turned out really well, and I'll show you how we do that. Oh, look how much this has risen. So now at this point, I'm going to divide it up into
We're acting like parents right now. Hope you know that. What'd you do on your first childless night? My husband prepared the sourdough for church, and I washed.
Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did find it helpful in any way, please give this video a thumbs up. And subscribe to our channel if you're new here. I'd really appreciate that as well. Also, if you have chickens and if you have a garden, if you're new to any of those things, I have some free giveaways down below in the details below this video. Sign up for our email list and I give away 3 freebies of free, not free, but DIY feeds that you can make for your chickens. I've got free garden plans for how to make a really awesome small-scale garden, and I give those away for free. Just sign up down below if you're interested in any of that stuff. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.